So, I always remember that my granddad used to say that I was too reliant on technology. So I called him a hypocrite and unplugged his life support. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Black Dog Podcast, episode 36. I'm
Darren.
I'm Jim.
And I'm Elton.
And this week we'll be seeing how everyone's week's been. We have a little bit of feedback, and then we'll be moving on to this week's movie, which was Darren's choice, which is...
Stan and Olly.
There you go, Stan and Olly, a.k.a... Come and see how nostalgia has died. Damn those ninjas cutting the fucking onions.
Yep.
So anyway, before we get to that, we'll see how everyone's week's been. And we will start with you, Elton. How has your week been, sir?
My week has been pretty uneventful, apart from one little thing. I'm not ill, but my work did require me to get a COVID test.
And? Well,
now,
if you're not ill, I think we can skip to the end.
Yeah. This is, I have to go work in a hospital on Thursday and Friday. And they require a clean COVID test. So I went for my test on Monday.
Right.
I had my test. I get my results tomorrow.
Right.
And then, if I'm clear on Monday, then I can go safely to work on Thursday and Friday.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay.
Hold on. Right, so you're having a test tomorrow.
Here we go. Yes.
Okay, so when are you actually starting
No,
work in the hospital?
I had it on Monday.
Oh, you had
I
it on Monday, right? Okay, and when are you starting the, work in the hospital?
I am starting the work on Thursday.
Right.
But don't tests take like a couple of days to turn around?
I am getting the results tomorrow. I don't know if you guys remember me just saying this.
Yes,
Yeah,
we did.
it's
We
just-
do remember
it's
it.
just-
It's just age.
I-
Old age is creeping up on us all.
I just have
Just
to...
going through the ramifications. I mean, my first question is, was this organised by Craig David?
Yeah. Well, I had a test on Monday. Then I was told I'd get it by Tuesday, but then it kind of delayed until Wednesday. But then on Thursday, nothing. Friday, and then on Saturday, I got my results.
By which time I had COVID for walking into an unsterilised room. So how did they turn the test around so quick? Is probably my question, because we've been swabbed a number of times this week, actually. And we're not due to get a result within like a week, probably even two.
There are 30-minute tests now.
Yeah,
30-minute tests.
Okay.
That NHS staff have been receiving. So,
30-minute tests.
30-minute tests. In 30 minutes, you can find out whether you're infected or not.
Okay, so either way, he's by your measure. It's
very long.
It's very long, or by my measure, really quick.
Yeah.
In which case,
You're Schrodinger's tester.
I am. Yes. I neither have or do not have my test results.
I have to wonder what the point of that test is, seeing as you could have the test. You had it on Monday. You could have fucking caught it between the time you start work and the time you had the test. So I don't see what the point of that is. It's a bit of a waste.
Mm-hmm.
This is why, by the end of the week, we'll have 100,000 dead in this fucking country.
Here we go. And once again, let's not be political wheels have come off.
And here
This
we
isn't
go.
political, this is survival. Boris got 7 miles away from his house on a bike. I've got news for Boris. Keep fucking pedaling till you hit the fucking sea, you cunt. If you come past me, I'll hit you so fucking fast it won't even be fucking funny.
Oh.
Wow.
So, anyway, Jim will be appearing on BBC News at 10 o'clock.
Today's thought from Jim Moon.
Thought for the day with the Reverend Jim Moon.
Isn't that the thing they used to end like the channel before they close? They'd have a priest come. Hello, welcome.
Well, it would be all. Hello, my children. Murder is a sin. Unless it's Boris. And then you can fist fuck him with a rocking chair.
Nice. The music was an extra. There was a beautiful touch.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Nice. Anyway,
Have I told you I'm launching my relaxation channel soon? Do tune into that.
whale song, except they're being chased by a Japanese whaling fleet. Right. So, anyway,
And then Hitler passed the cyanide around the bunker.
next week we'll be doing Downfall, followed by Come and See, and Stalingrad. So Elton, yeah. So you've had a test. You're having a test. You'll find out the results of the test from a couple of days ago, and then go into the hospital on that day. You're not going to get tested.
Apparently, I'm free, and it lasts for 5 days. And so I did bring up.
Has someone told the virus this?
Yeah.
I mean, rookie question here from a non-scientist.
Oh, am I not allowed to infect him for 5 days?
Oh,
man.
This is like the pubs. I can't infect him after 10 o'clock. Shit.
Oh, I've booked a window in the diary now, and I mean, look it for the next week. I'm fucking. Oh no, how am I going to work this? I've got like a dentist appointment on the. Oh, fucking right. Cheers, thanks.
Yeah, that keeps me safe. Until Friday.
It keeps you safe till Friday. So what happens on Friday? Do you get another test?
Do you know what? I don't know. I think that's it. It's well, you've done your job for us. Clear off. Never darken our door again.
And I mean, you're going to be in a hospital, so presumably it's all sterilised.
Yeah, this hospital isn't accepting, as far as I'm aware, any COVID case.
Right. Okay. Yes. So, what kind of hospital is it?
It is a private hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're totally safe because they don't have any fucking patients. Because God knows they won't spend any fucking of the money on treatment.
You've riled him up today, Elton. I don't know what... Someone...
I was in the green room just whipping him. I had a chair, like a lion tamer, just building him up.
Oh dear. Right. Okay. Yeah. So it's a it's a private hospital. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, they're not accepting anything, but they're accepting other stuff. They're taking a load off
Laundry,
of the NHS,
dry cleaning. Money.
Yeah, definitely.
but that test, I had to perform it myself.
Oh yeah.
So I probably fucked it up, but that wasn't pleasant at all.
Really?
What? Did you find yours pleasant? Were you like, oh yeah, slip in there?
I didn't find it pleasant because I did it round the wrong way. I stuck it up my nose first and then at the back of my throat, whereas I should have done it.
Your ass.
Well, that was the first time, but the doctors stopped me when they saw the colour of the sample coming back. No.
So where did you get?
Oh, hello.
Hello. What happened there, Elton?
I don't know. Did I peek?
No, you just disappeared. That was weird.
Here I am again.
Yes. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's all good. We can still hear you.
Yeah.
It's fine.
So that wasn't fun. So you enjoyed yours then, did you?
I didn't enjoy it, but I didn't find it...
It sounded like you said you enjoyed it.
Well, there's a certain cotton bud sensation which you get when you stick it in your ears. You know, you don't stick it in your ear for the COVID, but if you stick it up your nose, that's fine. It don't bother me. But it's all these people, when you see them online going, "Oh, it's stabbing at the back of your throat," and it's just like, well, I haven't got much of a gag reflex. Probably from working around King's Cross.
Well, moving on swiftly.
So So I have to tickle my own tonsils before I finally gag, so it doesn't really bother me too much.
Right? Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I don't have like a gag really. It wasn't pain. It was just really unpleasant. And it's that thing where you close your eyes and you're like, right, here we go. Start pushing. You're like, oh, okay, this ain't too bad. And you've just gone into the tip of your nose. And then you're like, okay, now I'm into waters uncharted. And it's starting to scrape a little bit. And in your mind's eye, you're like, okay, I'm in the tunnel. I am in the tunnel.
And so it was in your mind, really, is what was going on here. You're imagining the old Tom and Jerry watching the mouse run behind the eyes kind of gag.
Kind of, yes. It's very in a space because you start pushing and then it goes all right and then it hits a void and then it hits the back of your nasal passage. You're like, right, I'm here now. And you just have this vision of this cotton bud stuck and up against this wall and then you have to turn it like a couple of times. And it's all in your mind. It's like, okay, this is different. And then you have to back it out.
Yeah, backing it out is interesting because sometimes that cotton fluffs up, doesn't it, on the way back out? It's like pulling the duvet out of the cover. It suddenly rucks up. Yeah. But it's done. You've done it. You've done it once now. It gets easier the more you do it.
I'm sure it will do. Fingers crossed. I never have to do that again, though. But this is all part of my job now, apparently. So there you go.
There you go. So is this the first of many hospital jobs, or are you going to have to sort of do lots of different COVID tests as your weeks progress?
No. This is the scheduled maintenance is due this month, and so I have to. It was due last month, but I said about getting it done before Christmas, and they were like, "No, let's put it off until the new year, and then we'll get all the COVID stuff done because we don't know what tier we're going to be in." Okay, right, yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. Oh no!
How wrong you were.
We'll be all right. It'll be fine. Don't worry. Numbers going. Oh dear.
War will be over by Christmas.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So here we are now, and have to get it done. It's one of them things, and look. I've experienced it now. I don't want to experience it again, but if I have to, then I will. It's not as bad as what you think it would be. So, it's one of them things.
Cool. How's your forest gameplay going as well? Have you managed?
I haven't played it since, actually.
No? Okay.
No, I didn't play it since.
I was just wondering if you managed to die by being killed by a deer or something.
No, I haven't jumped on that recently.
Okay.
Yeah, just busy doing other things, which I won't go into right now.
Okay, that's fair enough. All right, then. Well, then we shall move on to Mr. Jim. Mr. Jim, in your week, sir.
Fairly quiet and just doing that. Really. Oh, it's January. Do things again, haven't I? Oh, God, I've got all to do, haven't I? Oh, God.
Oh, shit.
Can I go back to bed?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Although there's one upside of the COVID thing is my late friend's house. It's kind of now in my hands to finish emptying it and cleaning it up, and it needs a bit of work doing it before it can get sold, which I'm sort of taking charge of. But as no bastard will come out to price of double glazing or anything like that, I'm just sat on my hands really at the minute. So
oh, right.
That cut down the to-do list a bit. I'll tell you what, this is strict lockdown.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's kind of, I just want to get this done.
Yeah.
But so other than that, it's been very cold, very icy, quite snowy up here. So there's been much staying in, apart from taking the dog out. And generally not doing an awful lot. But I do have something I mentioned that I should have mentioned about the last twice we did this. It means you forget. And it was just before Christmas. I had the pleasure of joining Mr. Happy Day from this parish.
Oh, yes. Happy Day
with
Renee.
Mr. Peter, on their podcast Where Eagles Dare to talk about Scream Comic, which was tremendous fun to do. I love talking old comics, and Where Eagles Dare is a great podcast devoted to Eagle with various sidebars into other British comics. So that was really, really good fun to do. It was cool. Even though it was late at night for them and first thing in the morning for me. but it all worked. We're all sleep deprived equally. So But that was really good fun, and that should be out by now. So yes, go have a listen at that.
Okay. Well, if Happy Dave is listening to this, feel free to plug an episode up on the Old Black Dog Facebook group. That would be good. Yes, definitely. Yeah. A Scream comic. I used to love Scream. I used to love that. And the 13th Floor.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I love that. I love that so much. Oh dear, I need to go.
A nice hardback edition of it now, all collected by Rebellion.
Just about to say, I'm in the market for one of them. That would be great. That's cool. Excellent. Oh right. Well, and is that on Amazon? Is that available on Amazon, or is that straight through the reseller?
Well, I know you can get it from. Usually, Rebellion often have a sale on or some discount, so it's worth keeping an eye on their site. But you can get it on Amazon, or if you want to pay through the nose, Forbidden Planet.
Oh, yeah, forbidden prices. Who would?
I found a place much more expensive than that.
Oh, go on.
Oh, yeah. I saw this.
Fucking Merchoid. Merchoid. Right, okay.
Right.
I'll tell you what. When Merchoid have a sale, it brings the prices down to almost normal prices for everything.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Is it like a DFS sale, but for geek merchandise?
Well, they you can. I mean, you go to their site. They're pretty popular, and I must admit, I did get Ree's Christmas jumper from them, but only because it was like this really. It was a really nice looking. I mean, you've probably seen pictures of it anyway. I think she posted it up. Pictures of a Jurassic Park Christmas jumper, which was it's superb. Really was. It cost me about 40 quid on their site.
Right.
And that's the only time I've really ever bought from them. But they do things like they'll sell you the fake key from, like, you know, the key to the DeLorean from Back to the Future, right? It's just a key in a box, and they want something like, you know, 40 or 50 quid for it. And it's like, what the fuck?
Is it cut from the actual fucking DeLorean?
I think it's cut from Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd. So, Merchoid. Here we go. Let's have a quick look for that, because that is just.
And today on They Are Taking the Piss.
Yeah,
we have Merchoid.
Yeah, well, what was it? It was a toothbrush or something. It was an umbrella. They wanted like 50 quid for a fucking umbrella. It's got Dungeons and Dragons 20-sided dice printed all over the top of it.
They can piss right off for that.
Oh, here we go. Let's see. How much do you think a Snow Queen backpack is?
A Snow Queen backpack?
Yeah, Snow Queen backpack. Snow Queen from Disney. How much do you think?
Okay. 20 quid tops?
60 quid.
Fuck off.
I'm not fucking shitting you.
Is it coming from the States or something?
I don't know. I don't really care. It's this is ridiculous. But there you go. Sorry, I interrupted Jim's thing.
That's all right. That's all right. Jim, it sounded like you'd pretty much finished, but I didn't want to presume.
Yes, I had. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough ranting from me now.
That's all right. That's all right.
Oh, here we go. Would you like a tri-dimensional chess set from Star Trek?
No.
No? Oh, okay. Because if you do, you can have one for $132.99.
Fuck off!
Fucking chess set. Seriously,
this is like that shit that you used to see in the back of the Sunday magazines, the Franklin Mint things.
Yeah.
You know, only 287,000 Charles and Dye ceramic plates. You know,
what was the Viz, the commemorative Tutankhamun Elvis Dam Busters plate clock bust.
That's the one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go.
So there you go.
So
Brilliant.
So
Merchoid.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You can. Here this sounds like a bargain. How about this? Right. The Taskmaster shield from Black Widow. Right. Okay. The oncoming film. $9.99. Right.
$9.99.
Yeah. And then
right?
you learn that it's actually a pin badge.
Right. So a one that would be the size of a bin lid would probably be about £300.
Probably, yeah. It's
right.
fucking ridiculous prices are us. Really fucking well is. Anyway,
so how is your week, by the way?
How was my week? Well, my week was, again, like Jim's, pretty quiet. I did watch a couple of things.
Yeah, go on.
Well, the most recent one I watched, I'll mention someone I should have mentioned last week, but in fact, I'll get that one out of the way first. A couple of weeks ago, I watched a film called The History of Future Folk. Have you heard of it?
Mm-hmm. No.
It is basically, it's another, this isn't Jermaine and Brett at all. But it's almost like, imagine somebody gave, they said, right, we're going to make a film of Flight of the Conchords, but we're going to spend a little bit more money on it and make it, it's a little bit longer than a usual episode. And basically, there is a band called Future Folk. There's two guys. And the film, I'll read it out to you now what the blurb was. An alien ordered to colonize Earth abandons his mission when he hears music for the first time and is determined to save his adopted planet. Now, I thought, all right, let's give this a go. And it's got people like Dee Snider from Twisted Sister in it playing a barman and stuff like that. And you know what? It actually weren't a bad film at all. And I went out and I got one of their albums after I've watched it. Because it's in the same vein as Flight of the Conchords. It's two very ordinary looking blokes. It's like the band members, both the band members play aliens from this place called Hondo that is in danger of being blown up by this this comet. And so they send out one of this guy, like the head of their the head of their space fleet, to go and find a planet to colonize. And of course he lands on the planet, hears music, and he's kind of taken with it, and it's like, oh no, I don't really want to destroy this place. I kind of like this place a bit too much, thanks very much. And so he gets married, he has a kid, and he kind of tries to dissuade them. He's like, just try to delay it as long as he possibly can. And then of course they send someone after him. And of course, it's the other member of the Future Folk band. And, it's like, you could tell, I mean, this has got to be done for last because they both look like accountants, the pair of them. So, especially his mate. But, it's actually quite a nice, subtle, it knows what it is. This is it. So,
and what's that on?
That's on Netflix.
Okay.
So,
cool.
It's comedy. It's everything is pretty much. It's not exactly high tech anything in the film, but yeah, I enjoyed it. It was worth a good hour or so. I think it's just over an hour long, that one. And the other thing I watched was, and this was more recently, was Death to 2020.
Ah, the Charlie Brooker
thing. The Charlie Brooker thing. Which I very much enjoyed. Very funny. It's got lots of stars in it, Samuel Jackson, that kind of thing. And it is just basically, Hugh Grant is absolutely brilliant in this as the historian. Like one of his lines in it is, "What, you don't agree with me? Well, you can fuck off then." And it's like he's done up to be a lot older than he is, and he said in the interview, "You'll like my wig," and it is impressive old man hair, that he's wearing.
Yeah.
So if you like a bit of parody, you want to try and have a bit of a laugh about the last disastrous 12 months, then have a watch of this. Give it a go. Yeah.
Okay.
So there was that. And
cool.
Just one other thing now on the games front. Now, you remember you played that game, didn't you? Surviving Mars.
Yes.
Well, I've played the kind of sequel to it now. It's still kind of in the testing phase, but I've got it on the Xbox market, and it's called Surviving the Aftermath. Right? Which is basically set after some big disaster where the world has gone through an apocalypse. And you have to basically rebuild society. So you start off with like a small colony of people, and you have to build it up from there. You make your village, you build up the gateway and everything like this, and you can go out and explore and out around the local area. And they keep adding more content to it for free. So each update, they had like, oh, look, we've added this thing for nuclear winter now, and it changes certain aspects of the game. Unfortunately, I'm really shit at trying to bring the human race back from the brink, and everybody keeps dying of dysentery in my camp. You see them start to glow, and it's like, oh, that can't be good.
What is it with you getting out the other end of fucking 2020 and then suddenly deciding you want to do a bit, things weren't bleak enough, let's go for an apocalyptic survival strategy game.
Well, okay, right, you really want something that's going to possibly bring you down. You know, Michael Bay has made the first COVID film out the stable now, don't you? It's coming out soon I think it's on Amazon. It's called Songbird. Right, but of course, being Michael Bay, because I've been watching the trailer for this, right? Of course, being Michael Bay, he's not just satisfied with COVID-19. Oh no, this one is COVID-24.
Now, hang on, because I've seen something for download on PlayStation Video, which is called COVID-21.
No, this is called Songbird. This is called Songbird. I've already seen the review of it from Roger Ebert's site, and I don't think it's going to be pretty. It is by Michael Bay as well. So,
well, let's put it this way: I'm going to take a rough guess without even looking at it. That I bet that the COVID turns you into a zombie.
Not that I know of. No,
because that tends to be the sort of default option for any action film with some viral elements in it, and especially Michael Bay.
You're going to have to take it somewhere like that, aren't you? Right? You'd think that, right? But if you read the reading the review, it says, "Oh yeah, this is COVID-24, and it's changed our society completely." And I'm thinking, well, I thought COVID-19 did that. It's kind of what are people growing pear trees out of their fucking arses or something now? Is that what it is? Is this why they stick them in camps and stuff? Oh, and there are some people apparently who are immune to it, and it's like, oh, well, there you go.
Of course,
because you have to have someone who's immune to it, because there's obviously elements of the story that require this. Yes, you're just as immune as the plot needs you to be. So
Yeah, until you're not immune, because we've got no stakes.
Indeed. So I think that might be one to watch for Black Dog, actually.
What do you think, guys? I'm personally thinking no.
Michael Bay might get money, and that only encourages him, as we all know.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, I don't know, not after our review.
So only one sort of language those people understand, and that's a smack in the bollocks.
Yeah. You are so violent today, Jim.
I know.
You probably wound up. Have you got a new coffee machine or something?
I think, to quote that song, Arthur Daly, "You what said, Terence? Who rattled your cage? You ought to be ashamed, a man of your age."
No, it's all right. I don't mind a bit of ultra-violent Jim. It keeps us all on our toes.
That's a film title, that. Oh, we got to get to work on that now.
Ultra-violent
TM, you heard it here first. Ultra-violent Jim.
Yeah, that's the sequel to John Wick. Ultra-violent Jim.
Yeah, it's about a man who glows when he gets under a certain lighting fixture. So
no, ultra-violent.
Oh, ultra-violent.
Not ultra-violent, you pillock.
Maybe they could put the light in the body.
Yeah, put the light up his ass. See if we could maybe stick the UV and wipe it all out.
He followed Trump's advice. Little did he know he'd be the savior of society. Ultraviolet Jim.
There's a man's going to be getting something in his ass very soon. Back with orange jumpsuit, I think.
Oh, I think so.
Yeah. Arseless chaps.
Yep.
If he gets that far.
I'll tell you what, you've never seen someone backpedal so much after a while, and it's just like, if you go any faster, mate, you'll hit 88.8 miles an hour. There'll be fucking blue and orange sparks everywhere, and you'll end up back in 1959. Well, you'll probably be right. Actually.
He was backpedaling so much he was almost like Boris on that bike. Anyway, I could try, can't I? Yeah, cool. Okay. Anything else, sir?
No, not that I can think of.
Okay. Well, mine. I'll be pretty quick with mine. Games wise, I played Journey to the Savage Planet, which was good for kicking around innocent-looking birds,
yes,
booting them all around. I completed that. It looked little cutesy creatures, and you just go up and you give them a good hoof across the map. So that was pretty much all I needed from a game, to be honest. And then, so once I completed that, and I took everyone's advice, because I tell you what, there's only two things in Black Dog history which have actually elicited proper, what I would say, pushback responses.
Mm-hmm.
And one was back in the old days when I spoke out about how I did not like Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah.
And we actually got like actual tweets and messages and people saying, no, hang on, no, you're wrong, and this is why. And then in this case, Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh, good Lord! Really?
Yeah. Apparently, you know, I've had people telling me I've got to wait until I'm out of the snow. Following Elton's advice, actually, you know, wait until I'm out of the snow.
You have to wait until you're
in the game or in real life.
Both.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm out of the snow. Then some people saying, "Oh, you know, you can't play it after playing another big game." Then there were other people saying, "Look, you just got to give it time. It's a completely different pacing. You know, the game's actually really cool. It allows you to do all these things." And then there are other people sending me little tweets and DMs saying, "Oh no, you shouldn't be so bad on Red Dead Redemption 2." Oh! And anyway, so all of that led to this week, after I completed Journey to a Savage Planet and played something completely different, which was just basically returning to a game of Everspace, which I have on PlayStation. Mm-hmm. I thought, well, you know what? I've given it a break. I'm playing a completely different game. I've completed a completely different game. I'll give it another go. So
You've cleansed the palate.
I have cleansed the palate, indeed. So what I did was I sat there and I thought, I'll install this again. I installed it. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to take it my time. I'm going to just walk around, take my time. I walked into town. Well, I took the horse. I rode into town. I thought, oh, okay, fair enough. You know, maybe I've just, I had it wrong. I tried to do too much too quickly. And I walked in and I went into the bar. And as soon as I went into a bar, the barroom brawl just kicked off.
Mm.
And I'm like, okay. And then a guy comes up and he starts punching the fuck out of me. And I'm thinking, what do I do? And I'm randomly mashing buttons. And then all of a sudden, after I've taken like fucking 6 or 7 hits, up in the corner it comes up, press O to punch. And I'm like, okay, right, fine. So I start punching. I'm thinking, I'm doing quite well here. But my character's kind of swinging, and he's fucking stamina wears out, so he's standing there kind of panting, and the bloke's just punching fuck out of me, and I'm like, okay. And then it comes up, after another couple of successful blows from this other guy, it comes up, press square to block. It's like, you could have told me that at the start of the fight. That would have been nice. So I think, okay, so I do these blocks and I pace myself and I punch the guy out and I'm getting frustrated, but no, I'm going to give it time. So I beat this guy up. He throws me out in the street. Apparently he can't avoid that. He just does it anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I go out in the street, I punch him, and then all of a sudden he grabs me. And it's like, and it comes up, after he's grabbed me, it goes, you can press triangle to grab people. It's like, I can? Oh, thanks for telling me that. So then I beat him up, get past it, and the character goes, oh, you've been fighting in the mud, you should go and get yourself cleaned up before we go on our mission. I'm like, right, okay. Walk to the hotel very slowly, because, you know, everything has to be mosey. There's two speeds. There's run, and then there's mosey. There isn't walk, because walk would be too fast. Mosey. So I mosey for 5 minutes to the hotel, which is just across the street. I pay money to have a bath. And I think, right, okay. Now, I have played games where you have to do things, just to keep your character alive and all this kind of stuff. And I go in there, and I go in, and I pay to have this bath. I sat in the bath, and it goes, would you like assistance with the bath for an extra 50 cents?
Something for the weekend, sir.
I'm thinking, well, you know what? In for a penny, in for a pound. I pay the 50 cents. This lady comes in, and it goes through a bath simulator.
Well, what?
A button for scrubbing the left arm, a button for scrubbing the right arm, a button for scrubbing the left leg, a button for scrubbing the right leg, a button for chatting to the lady as she's doing these things. It was just like, I'm like, you're having a fucking laugh here, aren't you? You genuinely have just done everything I predicted that you should have done with a fucking horse. There was literally scrub left arm. So I have to scrub the left fucking arm, and then it comes up, scrub right arm. And it's like, press a totally different button, scrub the right arm. It's like, are you taking the fucking piss? And then I get out, and then I have to go, and I'm like, right, okay, fine. The lady doesn't give me any special favours or nothing like that. No. All right.
No special buttons that you haven't found yet. No combination. No combination of buttons.
No, but I was fully expecting a button to say ask for extras as she walked out the fucking door, to be honest, given the way the thing was teaching me. So then I think, right, okay, and it goes, go back to Valentine, go back to your camp and pick someone up and go do a mission. So I thought, right, okay, fine. So I went up and there's an old guy there and he goes, oh, that's a fine horse, but you could have another horse. And it's like, okay, fine. He goes, take this horse. And he gives me this horse. And this horse is like this magnificent Shire horse. And I'm thinking, oh, wicked, I've just upgraded. And it gives you this Shire horse. And he walks you into town again. So you've come all the way back into town that you've just left. And you get there. And he goes, now sell the horse. And you're like,
what? Sell the horse?
Sell the horse. So yeah, so then you walk into a barn, and there's a guy standing there. So you walk into a barn, and it says you can either punch him or talk to him. And I talk to him, and he goes, howdy. And I go, howdy. And we both just stand there looking at each other awkwardly. So I think, what do? And then it's like, only after I look up, after 5 minutes of wandering around this shed, it says, no, you have to walk into the shed with the horse. What? And it's like, what the fuck?
So you stood outside the shed?
Yeah, I stood outside the shed. Just thinking, what the fuck am I supposed to be doing? There's a guy standing there. But if I walk up to the guy while riding the horse, it goes, that's a fine-looking horse there. Are you looking to sell or house that little fine filly? So I think, right, okay, the mission tells me I've got to sell the horse.
Is there a button to make the horse kick?
No. Oh, there is, actually. But anyway, I went to sell the horse. Yeah. I sell the horse. It says, you can have that horse for $65. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll have that. And then it goes, now you got to buy yourself a better horse. And you're like, right, okay. And there's 3 horses in the paddock. One's $15 and should be sold for meat at McDonald's. One is $150. You can't afford it. And the one that's actually any good and is as good as the horse you just sold is $180.
And it's the actual horse you just sold.
Yeah. And it's like, so you've you've literally given me one of the best horses in the game. You've told me to sell the fucker, and then you've given me the option to buy basically Shanks's pony.
Yep.
Brilliant.
This is a horse called Burger.
We called this horse glue. Pritt stick. So I did that, and it takes you on a mission to go hunt down a bear. And I go hunt down a bear, and then get to a point where you're going to hunt down the bear, and it says, no, you have to make a camp right here. And I'm like, right, okay, because we've been riding for too long. I make a camp. He goes, now you have to go shoot yourself a rabbit. And so I then go round, and I have to shoot a rabbit.
Is it doing that voice?
And yeah, it does.
Yeah, damn it.
Damn it, the sheriff is a... And I went and shot this rabbit, bring the rabbit back. It takes the rabbit to the fireplace. Yeah. And it says, right, now you have to crouch by the fireplace. So I crouch by the fireplace. And it goes, now you have to cook the rabbit. So I press a button to cook the rabbit. And it says, now you have to press a button to eat the rabbit. It's like, what point does this stop being fun and just is just an automated meat puppet simulator? It's just like I'm just sitting there literally having to manually carve slices of rabbit off, hold it over the fire, cook it, and then stick it in my mouth manually. At what point does that actually become fun? Who sits there and jostles off thinking this is the best game ever as they're sitting there literally manoeuvring one person's hand from the rabbit to the fire and then from the fire to their face? And then
I can just imagine Clippy popping up right now.
Going, you're looking like you want to play a fucking game where you literally meat puppet a cowboy and mosey him down a fucking ravine and teach him how to eat rabbit.
You're looking like you're trying to enjoy a cowboy game, but failing. Okay, I recommend you eject this disc.
So anyway, when I finally gave up, was it takes you down into this big area and you follow around like claw marks and smell marks and dung marks and fucking all sorts of other marks looking for a fucking great bear.
Yep.
A legendary bear.
And Did you find it?
Oh, yeah, I found it, all right. And it literally just appeared out of nowhere and killed me. And
Beautiful.
It's like, brilliant. And then it goes, right, okay, well, we'll try it again. So you respawn back at the camp and you walk all the way back down and you follow all the things and you go all the way around. And you go and have you go and have a bath and you go and sell the horse again. No. And you walk all the way back to the bear. The bear goes, "Rrr," and I thought, right, fuck you, bear. I put it into Deadeye mode. I peppered his face with bullets and he went, and he went, "Ooh," and he ran off. And I thought, brilliant. And then the old man goes, well, that's enough excitement for me today. I'm going back to the camp. And you're like, motherfucker, I don't even know where I am. I don't know where I am, what I'm doing, where I am. You haven't told me anything. You've been very thorough about how I skin a rabbit and eat the fucker. But where I am, what am I doing? I've got a horse that barely can walk. I'm in the middle of fucking nowhere, and there's a very angry bear around. He wanders off. I take 4 steps forward. Bear appears out of forest. And it's like, yeah, I think I'm done.
But Mass Effect is amazing, though, isn't it?
Do you know what? If Mass Effect was done by the people who did this, the opening 5 minutes where you walk around the Normandy, I would literally be going, press button to open door, walk through door, press button to close door, walk downstairs, press button to open door to C&C.
And you know, I reckon you would fucking love that.
No, I wouldn't.
You would.
No.
You would totally love that.
I wouldn't.
You would. Come on.
No.
You can't get enough of the Citadel.
Yeah, and because you know what it is? It's a mission. And you know what? When I pull a gun, I want to hold a gun. I don't want to put a gun in my hand. And then when I sit down, it goes, oh, your gun's gone away. And you stand up again, and the bloke comes running at you and think, right, I'm going to have a fight with him. You go have a fight with him, and you don't pull your gun. You pull out your fist because it defaults back to your fist. And it's like... If I was playing Mass Effect, I'd be in the middle of a fight. I'd crouch behind a rock and accidentally put my gun in my back pocket and pull out a fucking pea shooter. It's just like, it tries so hard to be a simulator, and then it wants to be a game as well, and then it doesn't be a game. It turns around and goes, oh yeah, but you know, you can't crouch while holding onto a gun. You've got to put it in your back pocket. Really? So I've got to pull it again? Yes, you have. You've unequipped your shotgun. I have? Oh, right. Okay, when did I do that? When you sat on the horse. But I don't want to do that. I want to shoot. No, you got on the horse. You put your shotgun away, mate. I did? Oh, right. Mass Effect, you want to fucking heal yourself up. You press X. You heal. The job's done. In this, you've got to sit down, make a campfire, find a rabbit, skin the fucker, chop it into bits, feed yourself manually, and then all the while there's this old guy going, "Now I don't want to eat nothing." It's like, what the fuck am I doing this for? I don't even want to do this shit. Everyone's going, oh yeah, but the story, the immersion. It's like, what immersion? I'm literally controlling a meat puppet.
So, how long did you play this for?
Well, it felt like forever. It was about 2 hours.
Oh, you see, if you'd just stay for another 5 minutes.
Fuck you.
Because there's that bit with the thing and the things and the bits.
Yeah. It's an hour 45 that it really gets going.
Oh yeah, what? If you just waited 30 seconds more, that would. Yeah.
If you just held on.
Just held on.
It's like, seriously, fuck off. I mean, no. I've given it 2 goes. That's that. So I've reinstalled, or rather, I've installed the Uncharted trilogy.
Oh, you're going for that then, yeah.
And I will be giving that a go. Because, you know what? Nathan Fillion-esque Lara Croft clone is more my speed, I think.
Yeah.
Sitting there, because you know what? When I push forward and he runs, he doesn't run out of breath and go, and can't fight.
You know what you said about the bear there, where they give you a mission to go to the bear and then you get your fucking ass kicked by a bear? I don't want a Lara Croft games, the newer ones. It goes, you've got to go and kill this bear in a cave. And so, right, okay, I've got my gun and everything like this. I'm going to go for it. All right, in, take that. Fucking hell, it's by my face off.
Yeah, but that's just a case of strategy. This thing literally just teleported out of the forest. It was just 1 minute I'm in an empty clearing. Next minute, standing right beside me, Tex Avery style, is an 8-foot bear.
Beautiful.
He just appeared. It was like, oh, okay. And Carol just went, I could see you're getting really, really irritated at this, so I'm saying nothing. And I was like, fuck off. So, yeah. Unfortunately, Mr. Jesse Taylor was online on WhatsApp the other day, and he happened to catch full both barrels when he said, how's it going? And I was like, fuck.
Are you enjoying the game?
How's it going? How you doing?
How's the cowboy game working out for you?
Yeah, how's that working
you
out?
enjoyed it yet? You got hour 4? You seen the UFO?
Yeah, I did. There is actually I'm looking at my WhatsApp message, and it literally takes about a minute to scroll past.
Well, can I make a Netflix recommendation to you then, considering what you've been through? There's a Headspace Guide to Meditation. I think you need it. It's a series. I think you could do well to just have a watch. Blimey, Roger Waters' The Wall's on there as well. Fucking hell.
Oh, is it? Oh, well, that's good.
I'll be giving that a bit of a watch, I think. But there you go.
Okay. Right. Well, I'll leave it there because, frankly, that's it for me. I mean, other than that, I watched Cobra with Katie. She wanted which was funny because I'd never ever seen this film before.
I'd seen
for
it
good reason.
Played the Spectrum
and then
game.
I was going to say I watched the film and it was just like you are having a laugh, aren't you? I mean, it was literally just every bad cop cliche you could imagine. There's just like some random guy in the cop who's with the chief of police who's just like being a weasel for no discernible reason.
Is that the one where he says, "Crime is the disease, I'm the cure"?
Yeah, but he does that while the guy's got like a bomb and he's standing in a supermarket for reasons. It's like why the guy with the bomb doesn't do what he needs to do, and Cobra shoots him, and then the bomb just stops working instantly. And
Johnny Cobretti or something, his name is that it?
No, Marion Cobretti.
Marion. Well, no wonder he's tough. He's there you go. Marion. Is it Marion or Mario?
John Wayne syndrome, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
John Wayne, Marion, Big Daddy, Shirley Crabtree, Ice Tree, Cole Tracy.
Oh,
there's a pattern
Johnny
here.
Cash, a boy named Sue.
Overcompensating.
Exactly, boy named Sue. Yeah, it is that, but it was bloody awful. I mean, even by sort of like liking cheesy action movies for the cheesy action.
Yeah,
it was shit. And yeah, the irony being that when I worked at Cartoon, we used to do promos for CNX, which was the adult sort of side of Cartoon Network, and they used to have Cobra on hard rotation in the late evenings, and we did
Crazy.
we did high dents and spots for it and everything, and I never ever watched it, and now I know why. Yeah, it's like for like nearly 2 years sitting there making spots and idents for that thing, and then going, oh yeah, look, there's another bloody, oh look, they put fucking Cobra on again, along with the Shield. Oh look, another ident, another video, another trailer, and then it's like, I've never actually watched it, and it's like, fucking hell, what a pile of shit.
Where's Cobra currently?
Cobra is on Amazon.
Oh, it is.
It's not on Prime. It's not even Prime, even on Prime, unfortunately. Yeah,
Stupidity tax.
Yes.
Stupidity tax, exactly. No, Katie's like I say, she's going through a sort of like rewatch all of the 80s and 90s action crap.
Oh, yeah.
Some of it she likes, like the Running Man and Demolition Man. I think anything with man in the title seems to do quite well. But right. Cobra was Tango and Cash as well, which went down really well. But then we watched Cobra and paid the price because because it's shit.
Yeah.
Have you done Cliffhanger yet?
No, I haven't done Cliffhanger actually.
I'll do that. And what's that? Is it Lockout? The one where he plays the bloke who does the arm wrestling?
Oh no!
Over the top.
Over the fucking top.
Oh, it's amazing.
No, we haven't done Over the Top.
So there's Over the Top. I think that's
that was going to be part of the sports season. That we were
a sports season? Oh God, no! Yeah. Oh dear God, no!
So Cliffhanger, Over the Top. You did Tango and Cash, didn't you?
Yes, Tango and Cash.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, it's not Tango, it's Cash.
Yes.
And Jack Palance.
Jack Palance playing Jack Palance.
Yeah, what I did notice was the entertainment value is directly inverse to how many laser beams they stick on top of the laser sights they stick on top of the gun to make it look cool.
Oh right, okay.
If your character's got like a machine gun with a laser beam on it, then it's a really shit film. If they've got a handgun with a laser beam on it, it's getting better.
Yeah.
Tango and Cash.
If it's
Terminator.
a blowpipe with a fucking laser sight on it means it's the best film ever.
Exactly. I'm looking for that one. Yeah. If only I could find something with a laser sight on it that's literally just like a pen dart or
for kittens.
It's a kitten with a laser sight on it.
If the internet has if the internet's proved anything, kittens and laser pointers, see, best thing ever. Proves my point, I think. Right. Well, I think I'll leave it there. We did have a little bit of feedback from last week. Not straight out of Compton so much because as it turned out, we I shouldn't be laughing. We reviewed straight out of Compton and then found out exactly like 5 hours later after publishing it that Dr. Dre had an embolism.
Yeah.
So that was a bit of a shocker.
Hey, we didn't forget about Dre though.
We did not forget about Dre. Quite the opposite, in fact. The Black Dog Podcast curse has moved on to Dre, and we wish him well.
Didn't leave him in someone's basement either. So that's all good.
Yeah. So but we did get a missive from the website. Someone joined the website. The Black Dog Podcast website. You can send feedback in via that, which is Black Dog Podcast. It's just
we have a website.
Yeah, we have a landing page. We have a landing page from Libsyn. Let's be honest. Let's not dress it up. And from there, you can hit the feedback button, and it will send an email through that website to us. And someone did. A maniac cop.
Oh,
right. Yes. And I'll read this verbatim because I'll be honest with you, I don't think it has a lot of bearing on the actual episode we just did, but there you go. And it says, "Hi Lee, Darren, Jim and Elton. It's Maniac Cop here from Down Under. We're almost totally mask-free. Unfortunately, my freedom has been somewhat limited by the stresses of 2020 combined with PTSD, and the Black Dog has sent me to the loony bin."
Okay.
There you go. It's a strong opener, I'll be honest with you. I'm currently in the psych ward of a very nice private hospital, and I should be back home in a week or two. Nothing to worry about, just needed some rest and a refresher course. My only concern here is that the big Native American bloke that follows me down the hallway is clutching a pillow. Nice callback. We should do One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Really should. Another Man Blub one, that is. Oh, that's a bad one. What's that all about? What's that all about? I'm glad you have you have that little Aussie gem Predestination as a good review. I absolutely love this film, and I wish they had gone on with the original tagline in the posters of Predestination, Go Fuck Yourself. I think that was from us, wasn't it? Can't wait to hear about the Straight Out of Compton review. Got to quote the dyslect rapper Yo My Gingers. Okay, I don't know where that's going. P.S. If the UK and Sweden can get COVID under control by July this year, they may just open the bars up, and it's meat time again. Gotta go. There you go. So medication time. He's off then. So we got an email from Maniac Cop saying that he's
Dear Mr. Cop,
at some point.
Thank you for your
Dear
feedback.
Mr. Cop. It's not Wolf Cop with screamy face.
Screaming at Skullface.
Oh, screamy skullface. Yeah, what do you think?
Oh, we really need to bring that back. Let's ask Screaming Skullface what he thought of the film.
What do you think, Mr. Screamy Skullface? Yeah. That was quite funny. I'll be honest with you. Yeah, but yes. I guess what he's alluding to is obviously he's getting out. Maniac Cop's out. He's getting better. He's using us to improve, and that's always a good thing. And obviously the hopeful thought that one day we will have a shindig again.
Yep.
One day.
Not called it the Michael Bay though, because we're getting COVID-24 apparently called it the win. But
yeah. But according to Michael Bay, we're also getting a decent Transformers movie, and he's had like 8 tries of that, and he ain't fucking succeeded yet. So I'll take that under advisement, I think.
Indeed.
Yeah. So, anyway, I hope you're well, Maniac Cop. I hope you're improving. I hope our Straight Out of Compton review was okay for you. And best wishes from all over here. And you know what? One day we will have another shindig, and one day we'll call everyone. We'll do it on Zoom. We'll do the whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Another Zoom.
Well, we won't do a shindig on Zoom. That's terrible. I had a Christmas do at work on Zoom.
God, really?
That was bad. I mean, that was literally someone sending us a whole bunch of drinks through the post, and then we all sat there looking at our cameras, just drinking. I mean, that's almost like a perfect advert for depression, isn't it?
I think it is. Yeah.
This isn't what Fat Larry intended with his invention.
So yeah. Anyway, so that's that.
I'm making up lyrics as it goes in my head right now.
Yeah,
Zoom,
I know.
Just one click and my internet went boom.
Getting drunk in the afternoon.
It writes itself.
It does.
Zoom.
It does.
Zoom parties on your own in your pantaloons.
Yes.
Getting drunk there in the afternoon. Get on it, Jim. Get on. Get it. Yeah. Zoom, I'll drink the day away. COVID soon. Anyway. Right, I've had me rant about Red Dead. I'm never coming back to that. Don't send me any more missives. Don't at me. Don't tell me I've missed the point. Don't tell me I'm supposed to be moseying slightly quicker, that I shouldn't be worrying about fucking cowboy hats or none of that bollocks. Just fuck off. I'm not playing it again. It's 70 fucking gig of shit that I could do without on my PlayStation. I've got loads of other games. I'm all right.
Yeah, imagine if you had lost your hat. The fucking turmoil that would have happened there.
I lost my hat 3 times in that barroom brawl.
Did you?
Yeah, it was the only thing I could do was pick it up. because the
Pick
fight
up hat.
pick up hat.
Mash a square. Mash the square button.
Mash the square, pick up the button, pick up the hat. Go for a fight. Okay, this person's in trouble. Okay, well, I'll run over to him. Oh, I'm out of breath after that last punch, so I'll have to just mosey over to this bloke.
There are breathing buttons in it as well. Breathe in, breathe out.
Do you know what? I think that's in the extended edition. Yeah,
I've heard the toilet physics are incredible.
Well, actually, there was a whole thing that someone was telling me about horsey go plop plop as well.
What?
Apparently, you can just sit there and, like, you know, gives you the real authentic thing because you can sit there and stare at horses' arses and they shit.
Oh, they do shit, yes.
They're going for a very niche market here, aren't they?
They fucking well are. I mean, there's simulators and then there's simulators, but it's just like you have to start wondering who this is really for. It's like wow. I'm gonna go watch my horse shit for an hour while I'm trying to peel a fucking rabbit. Peel a rabbit, watch a horse shit. There you
Press
go.
this button to squeeze one out. There we go.
Anyway. Yeah, I'm sure there was a hypersports thing for crouching and squeezing and biting on the stick while you were sort of taking a dump over the cliff.
Yep.
Trying to keep your balance. Anyway, right, enough of that. Let's just leave it there. Thank you, everyone, for your interest in me playing Red Dead Redemption. It's clearly not for me. Let's move on to this week's film, then, which is another biopic, true story, and it is Stan and Ollie. Right, Stan and Ollie is a 2018 biopic, comedy drama directed by John S. Baird, written by Jeff Pope, based on the later years of the lives of the comedy double act Laurel and Hardy. The film stars Steve Coogan, John C. Reilly as Stan Laurel and Oliver Hardy, respectively, and it was released on the 21st of October 2018 as a part of the London Film Festival. The film focuses on details of the comedy duo's personal relationship relating to how they embarked on a grueling music hall tour of the United Kingdom in the 1950s and struggled to get another film made. And the film was nominated for Best Actor for John C. Reilly and also had Best British Film and Best Actor in the Leading Role for Coogan at the BAFTAs. So anyway, it had a budget of 10 million quid, and it made at the box office Eldon.
Oh, how much? I reckon it just doubled itself. 20 million. There we go.
Okie dokie. Darren?
I reckon it made about 80 million.
Okay. Jim?
I'll go 30.
Okay. Well, actually, Jim's closest by rounding up. It's 26 million it made.
Oh, really?
Not a lot, to be honest, but it's reasonable. It made its money back, but it wasn't a big picture, shall we say?
Oh, it ain't going to be a sequel then.
Fucking idiot. Fucking sequel. Anyway, you thrown me now. Anyway, so right. So let's go around the table then. Let's just get quick thoughts before we go into the actual meat and potatoes of the discussion. So Darren, this was your pick, so we'll come to you last. But what did everyone think of it? So Jim, just roughly speaking, what was your?
I really, really enjoyed this. I thought it was just a lovely bit of work, and
Cool.
just so well done, and very, very well judged as well. I thought.
Nice, cool. And Elton?
I thought it was a really nice tale. It felt comforting. It was very poignant at moments, but yeah, do you know what? It was a really nice tale told.
Okay. I thought pretty much the same. I thought the performances were excellent, and I thought the The story overall was very good. I mean, as with all my complaints about biopics, there are certain elements that I think either got left out or didn't quite hit the mark because they weren't following the bit that I was interested in. But overall, I thought this was a lovely film, and I have no shame in saying that there was an occasional teary moment in the corner of my eye. I would be lying if I said anything otherwise. And what about you, Dal?
I absolutely adore this film.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. And I mean, you can feel it's the warmth that's in the movie between the two leads. Stan and Olly. You can see it's such a believable friendship, and it's such a believable the pair of them performance. You sit there and you are literally convinced that they are the people that they're playing. It's a testament to both the actors involved, who not two people you would think of first choice of playing something as subtle as something like this. John C. Reilly and Steve Coogan, not exactly known for subtle comedies in their time.
No.
But this, it was handled so well. Performance themselves, Okay. I can't, it didn't put a foot wrong with me. And you're definitely right. There was definitely a lot of. I'm going to get the cleaner fucking fired from inside my house because there was a that'll do pig moment in the film for me.
Oh, there was a couple of those
right at the very end, and it's just when they stood on. Oh man, I'll get into that in a minute.
Yeah. Keep the powder dry.
Keep the powder dry. Yeah.
Okay, well let's kick off then. I mean, how much of this did anyone actually know? I mean, the story of it, the background behind it.
I knew nothing at all.
You knew nothing about it. What about you, Elton?
Nothing whatsoever. I know they both died, but
well, good guess there.
Watch out, Sherlock Holmes. Elton's coming.
Fucking hell.
Elementary, my dear Elton.
I can deduce by the fact that they were in their mid-50s, early 60s.
They will soon pass away.
They would not make it to the year 2021. Fuck me, Governor.
No, I didn't know a single thing about this, really.
Okay, fair enough. What about you, Jim?
I knew some of this because I saw there was a TV movie. Well, it's more like a TV play, I'd say. It's called a TV. Starring Jim Norton as Stan Laurel.
All right.
And Jim Norton, you will know if you watched Father Ted, because he is Bishop Len Brennan.
He is.
And the play is just Stan Laurel visiting Oliver Hardy, literally in his last days where he's dying in hospital, and Olly's pretty much actually spark out, and Stan's just working through his memories and talking to his old friend by his bedside.
Yeah.
And that sort of covered a lot of kind of the secret history of Laurel and Hardy about the contract that never was, and their sort of breakup, and how kind of really they kind of lost the grip.
Yeah.
At the height of their powers, and I thought this was a really sort of nice handling of it in a way that was completely different to what I'd seen before. Because it's just called Stan, actually. It's from 2004, I think, something around then.
Yeah,
and that's really, because it is basically a one-handed performance from Jim Norton as Stan Laurel. It's pretty intense and really. God, it causes drums to get dusty. So I was prepared for a certain amount of what happened, but and I knew they'd done this this music hall tour because they played some surprising places. You know what I mean? And,
playing Hull and
exactly. And I think I either played the Lancaster or Darlington. I can't remember. It's somewhere where I've lived that actually played in one of those. The fuck what? So I mean, I thought this was kind of. It was really good actually to hear that story again in a different way.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I knew, I mean, I'd heard little snippets of it, I can't remember if it was like on a sort of like a documentary or something like that. Because I mean, didn't Stan Laurel? He lasted much longer. Didn't he die?
Yeah.
So I think he died
64 or something like that.
I can't remember.
Yeah, 10 years. About 10 years after Olly went.
Yeah, he died. Yeah, something like that. But it seemed almost recent or something, because there was I don't know if there was some. I vaguely recall seeing it on like one of those kind of Barry Norman style retrospectives or a Arena. Remember Arena?
Oh yes, yeah.
So I think there was something like that where it kind of just did a sort of general overview of them, and I kind of vaguely recall, but there was no real massive amount of detail beyond the fact that they did it. But yeah, so a lot of this was really surprising to me. I mean, how do you guys? I mean, I'm presuming that you were all fans of it when you were watching it on sort of, let's take a guess, BBC Two in the afternoons. Yeah. So if we're all coming from the sort of same sort of paddock, I mean, we're all fans of it when it was on. The films were being played over and over again on the BBC. But how do you think this film and its portrayal of the characters, how do you think it's affected how you look back on those films? Knowing, like, you know, for example, there was a bit at the beginning with Danny Houston's Hal Roach. Yeah. You know, sort of like there was a bust up at the studio, and you know, Stan was kind of the pusher of the talent sort of thing. Does that make you look back on those old films differently, or the characters new, seeing them differently?
It was good to see the whole Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia being performed. But yeah, as far as, I mean, it's more like viewing the guys themselves, because they are the actual combination of the two is the polar opposite of what you see on screen. Whereas, Olly is in character is Oliver Hardy as a character is like he's the alpha of the two. You realise
tough straight guy.
Yeah. But you realise it's the other way round when it comes to real life. It's Stan who's the real kind of hard nose, and it's Olly who's the more sort of laid back about things. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, what about anyone else? I mean, did it change your view on the characters, or?
It hasn't changed my view on the characters. I think because I don't know much about the characters. I've gone into this probably knowing even less about Lauren Hardy than I did about NWA when we did that. But I've seen a number of their movies when it was on BBC Two. I used to record them as well, and I was the only person that I knew of my friends and people at school that would record them or would tell me that they would record them.
Yeah,
and so it was very niche just to me. And I found it very personal that it was just me just enjoying this. And I think that's a testament to the movies themselves, because where I was like a 13, 14-year-old person watching black and white movies, that's very different, I think. You know, you wouldn't catch kids nowadays, I don't think, diving into that. Or
no.
You might. And it'll be like the odd one or two, and they will really adore them. I loved them when they were on watch them again and again.
Yeah,
but I didn't know them past the actual movies, and I don't really remember any of the movies I'd seen. Looking back on it, this has made me want to go back and watch the other movies as well. I'd like to just catch one that I remember, and I don't realise I remember it. It's like, oh yes, I remember watching this, and I remember that little scene there. But I didn't really know the characters out of their character, shall we say. It does. I was thinking about this today. The way that they're portrayed in this, like when they do that car part, when their wives turn up and they're like, all right, we're going to do a bit now.
Yeah.
If I was around at that time and be able to enjoy them, I think I probably would have enjoyed them in the movies. But anything more than that, I'd want to know about them instead of just the acts that they keep doing the act again and again and again. And I think that may have become tiresome when you're living through it.
Well,
now looking back on it, it's like, oh, look at them. They just won't stop working. It's brilliant, isn't it? But I think if I was old enough to actually remember this, I'd be sat there going, they're a bit boring now, aren't they? They keep doing the same thing again and again.
Well, that's a good point. I mean, it's like, how we treat our celebrities these days. It is that whole thing that, we see so much of them, and we see them so often, and they're in the news so much by making themselves front and centre that if they keep doing the same old shtick, like your sort of Alan Sugar's going, you're fired, or I don't know, Kim Kardashian's showing her arse, or, if it's constantly in your face, not her arse, just generally things, just media. If people and, news and media and everything, constant news source, constantly pushing stuff at you, if they were in this media, if they were in this era, chances are they wouldn't have lasted because they would have become tiresome and they would have probably burnt out quite quickly. It's interesting to see that, especially like with comedians and comedy acts, if you see them on Twitter and Facebook and all that kind of stuff, they're very tightly controlled. They kind of dish themselves out in very tight packets. They don't really kind of do this sprawling red carpet business that you see everywhere else, do you? And so I think, you may have found, nowadays they would not have lasted, or they would have been perceived completely differently, as you say. But it's interesting because what the film does, and what I think it does rather nicely, is it shows how naive a lot of this was. Because, just them doing their thing, with the wives, doing all these little extra skits, because they only get seen so very few times outside, and the media is only in specific places. The paparazzi is only and there was a line in the film about the fact that they don't do public appearances and they don't do this, that, and the other. That it was a very different era, and people saw it as a novelty to see these kind of people. It's that golden age of stardom when all the stars and all the Hollywood people would be up on Mount Olympus, and you'd barely see them.
These are bona fide legends, really, aren't they?
Yeah.
Absolutely legends.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, looking at some of the skits, because throughout the film, Stan seems to be always doing a skit, always doing a bit, always playing his part when he's in the public. Did you find those funny, as in properly laugh out loud funny, or did you find yourself smiling with nostalgia? Because I just for myself, I was watching some of those bits and I was thinking, that bit with the the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia was really funny. The bit with him when you initially see him rolling the boiled egg, by the by the bed and all this kind of thing, was lovely, and I did enjoy watching it. But I thought to myself, I'm not laughing. I'm just reveling in the nostalgia of it. Yes. And I was just wondering if you guys felt the same, or if especially after what Elton's just said about taping the episodes.
I think I wasn't belly laughing at any of them, but when I saw, there was a moment where the crowds were really lapping it up and enjoying it. I think like when I always get these two confused. It's like a fucking Ant and Dec again, isn't it?
Stand on the left.
Oliver is in the bed and he's got that weight and he keeps bashing it on his head. I actually found that really, really funny.
Yeah.
And it was a very naive, simple friendly humour.
Yeah.
There was nothing rude about it at all. It was just very simple, simplistic. It's like a nursery rhyme of comedy. It's where all comedy is kind of built up from, and everyone's laid it up again to just try and one up the last comedian, just to make it that bit edgier. And this is kind of going back to real bare bones. And I think you can love it for that as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's the love of the simplicity of the humour, the innocence of the humour. There's a lot to love about it. But
the timing as well.
Crackerjack timing.
Yeah.
I mean, the original, Laurel and Hardy obviously had that. But even in this, I mean, I know it's down to editing and all this kind of thing, but in some of those scenes with both John C. Reilly and Steve Coogan doing those bits, I thought, wow, that you're literally watching Laurel and Hardy. I wasn't watching two actors being Laurel and Hardy. I was watching Laurel and Hardy.
What's that bit where you say with the egg when you're sitting by the bed? It's Steve. All the little inflections that he does, the way he's kind of like the expression on his face and the way he's kind of just looking away slightly as he rolls the egg, that kind of thing. And you got John C. Reilly sitting in bed just giving him the stand, the Oliver Hardy stare.
Yeah, which
beautiful.
he did really well in that sort of dream sequence with the Robin Hood film.
Yes.
As soon as they did that, I thought, oh my God, is this a film I haven't seen? Did they actually do one in colour? And then all of a sudden it's like, no, this is a dream sequence. This is an imaginary sequence in the film.
Yeah.
This is the film we could have had.
Yes. Yes. I mean, how far they would have got with that, even if it had come out or if it had been made, is debatable, I guess. Given,
but you listen
I don't know.
to.
If you think we grew up with the reruns of Laurel and Hardy for years and years, and we also had the Hanna-Barbera Laurel and Hardy cartoon.
Oh yeah.
God, yes.
And in the 70s, they were topping the charts with the re-release of Lonesome Pine. And so I think kind of if they had come back in colour, there would have been an audience there for them. And it's one of those things. It's kind of the naivete, though. It's kind of people Stan knew and believed in them because he did say, our films will last forever, and they have. And you know what I mean? People, new generations are still discovering Laurel and Hardy.
Yeah.
But it is that kind of at the time they were yesterday's men.
Yeah.
And people didn't, you do see it a lot of kind of people don't realise, what you've got till it's gone almost. But I think I found there were some bits that did really the trunk at the train station. that got me, and then but they got me again when Oliver Hardy goes, "Do we need that trunk?
Do we really need that trunk?"
Yeah. But the thing, I think the way this film's structured, it's not geared up even when they're doing their funniest famous bits to get a big laugh, because comedy does rely on structure. You have to have lead ups, and you never get the full bed sketch. You're just getting snippets of it, and so you don't get the same impact. And overall, there's this sort of bit of a melancholy tone to it, but not in a bad way, I don't think, because for me, partly is I was watching it, that's really funny, but also I was marvelling again, kind of the performances are so good.
Yeah.
And it's but there's just a tenderness to the context with you're being shown this stuff as well.
Yeah.
It works on so many different levels. You know what I mean? It is funny, but it's also sad and also quite has a lot to say, actually, under the surface about the nature of showbiz and fame and being appreciated and working relationships, and there's a lot of depth there. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's kind of that sometimes I think gets in the way of the pure laughs. But at the same time, when it was funny, I mean, That chunk got me so bad.
Yeah.
Well, it's heartbreaking at times as well, isn't it?
God.
You know, they're getting skiffed left, right, and centre, aren't they? They're being. They can't say no. They want just over the next hill is that pot of gold. That's where we find the fame and fortune. It all comes back, but we're not really after that. We just want adoration. We don't. They don't want everything. They just want to please people. And you have that heartbreak of they're being used and abused, and yet you kind of get the sense that they know, but they also turn a blind eye to it because they just want to carry on working. They want the excuse to work.
To keep on being Laurel and Hardy.
Yeah. Because you take that away from them, then they don't have anything. All they want to do is pine back together. It's the same as when Hardy was in bed after he'd just had his heart attack. And Laurel's sitting there and he's explaining a skit to him. And all of a sudden, Hardy's back in that and he's laughing away. And I was saying, that's brilliant, that's excellent. And he's forgot that he's retired. He's already back there doing it with him. And it is heartbreaking in that sense as well.
Yeah, I mean that comes to the bit that really floored me. I mean, films like this, which sort of like see a character sort of coming to the end of either their career, their life, or just accepting that things have got to change and move on. They kind of really they give me an absolute whack straight in the feels every time. But the bit that really got me was when basically they're on the boat and he says, we haven't got the film, it was never going to be, it's never going to happen. And then Babe turns around and goes, yeah, well, I figured that. And it's like, well, why did we carry on? So if you knew and I knew, and then they do this little skit, it's this charming little skit of like, so what would your line be? Would it be like, well, if you knew that I knew that you knew that I knew, then I knew that you knew, so we knew that you knew. So that's all we knew. And they do that, and it's like, it's beautiful. And then all of a sudden, it's just like, so why did we rehearse it? And then Babe just looks at Stan and just goes, well, what else are we going to do?
Yeah.
And it was just like the feels just came out of nowhere and went, oi, come here, Medcar. And it was just like, thank you, good night. I think I'm just going to have to just ride this out. And I was just, it did me no favours, that moment.
Oh, you know what? That bit when they're on stage at the very end of the film and they go out and do their last performance.
Oh.
And they look at one another and it's that thing that passes between them, and that got to me. And another thing that got to me as well is when you look in the audience and they've got their two wives sitting there, and Laurel's wife reaches over and grabs the hand of Stan's wife, and it's just like they just look at one another, and it's just that whole thing of no matter how much of a git they've been to one another during the film, it's that thing of them coming together in that understanding of that moment, which is just beautiful. And it's just such an emotional punch.
Yeah.
Whole thing.
See, that's kind of the opposite of one of the scenes I really liked as well, where you had them having their little argument. And they are having a quiet argument. Everything in this film between them is quiet and contemplated, isn't it? There's no screaming or shouting or anything like that, but it's just carefully delivered to each other. But they're having their argument, and suddenly the room is slowly looking at them, and and they're not quite sure if they're having a little skit or if they're not. And then I think Stan throws the bread roll at Hardy.
Yeah,
it hits him, and normally that's where the skit would continue, and he doesn't go for it.
Yeah,
and then you're like, oh, that was one moment too far, wasn't it? You're not going to get him back from that now.
Then you got that toffee-nosed twit at the back there who suddenly bursts out laughing, and his wife goes, was that funny? And it's like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, Sorry, it is one of those. I mean, it is a moment, but it's also a great indictment on showbiz and the fact that you're in the public eye, and how the one thing that seems to come through all the way, which I kind of was really surprised about, was how driven Stan was, and how Olly got it basically right, which was essentially that, he's without his act, he's nothing. So he's always trying to do a bit rather than face anything, and face up to reality, which is what Babe was actually doing.
Well, there's a bit of that in the epilogue to it, when they tell you what went on after the show, and it's that one really, really sad line where it said, it says Laurel died around about 10 years after, and he spent that entire time writing sketches for Laurel and Hardy right up until his death, and it's just like, oh my god.
Yep. Great.
Stop it.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're going to have to stop for a second, mate, because that's fucking...
It's just so... Oh. What?
Yeah.
There wasn't enough car chases.
Yeah, I thought the two gun action was just really shit in this film.
Yeah, it is a sad tale, isn't it? Because you see like the arguments at the very beginning, and you see them coming to London, and it's positioned that they're in first class as well. You had that little notice of first class, and it's just the slow wind down, isn't it, of two careers? It's like, it is. God damn it, Darren! What are you doing to us?
Yeah.
Can I just ask, by the way, did anybody else feel the same as me when they had that argument in the ballroom and they went their separate ways, and then Stan is trying to make up for it? Was it just me going, "Oh, Olly, just forgive him, please, just please forgive him, just don't just be the bigger man and just accept his apology, just do it," because that was upsetting to watch, that whole thing. It was just like, no, you can't do this.
Yeah.
Surely.
Well, I think the film does a good job, actually, of not making either one of them the bad guy.
Exactly.
I think in lesser hands, you could play it very differently. And I don't think that would be fair to either man. I mean, there's an old Lexi Sale routine that went, look at the comedy greats. Stan Laurel. When Oliver Hardy went golfing, Stan was away working on the scripts. When Norman Pace goes golfing, Gareth Hall goes with him. And that's why Hale and Pace are shite. But you could easily paint it as kind of all, Stan's the work-obsessed, hard-nosed who got him kicked out. He's the bad guy. Or you could play, Oliver Hardy, the lazy fat fuck. He just, he lived off Stan Laurel for years. You wouldn't have had a career if you hadn't met him.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad it didn't take that sort of cheap, polarizing sort of way, because it's more complicated. They had a relationship, and it was, Stan did all the writing, but as it sort of proved in this, when he got hooked up with Nobby Shafter, whatever his name was, it was kind of, it wouldn't work, you know what I mean? Because
Nobby Cook.
He's not playing off Oliver Hardy, and what you saw in the movie, the way that they're always playing around with these ideas, is that, all right, Oliver Hardy wasn't sat at the typewriter day after day, but he was always talking about the act and saying, we're at this, we're at that, and that doesn't work. And it wasn't like he didn't have any input, and he was just a fat guy golfing and along for the ride.
He was there to bounce off, wasn't he?
Yeah, exactly. And there's kind of, there's a lot, there's more to be, said than just having the writing credit. There's a lot, being a double act, a collaborative process. You need each other to bounce, literally to bounce off in many cases. In Laurel and Hardy's case, physically, So I mean, I thought that was really, I was really glad about that, because it'd been really mean spirited, I think, to come away thinking, well, one of them was a cunt, wasn't it?
Yeah, it would have.
That would have been awful.
Yeah, it would have been. It would have been very easy to demonize one or t'other. I mean, because it was all there, wasn't it? With Babe's obsession with the horses.
Yeah.
And his almost revolving door of girlfriends and spouses and wives and
alimony lawyers,
exactly. And and then also his him sticking with Hal Roach, for the elephant movie.
Yeah.
Which when you initially think it, you think, oh god, he has been a bit of a dick, and then when they get to the argument, it's actually like, well, he's got to look out for himself, isn't he? And and then it's like, but he couldn't break with the contract,
Yeah.
But yeah. Sorry, I had to go a bit quiet there for a while, so while I wiped my eyes. But and then realised I had a bit of chili sauce on my eyes, and then realised I've just burnt my the corner of my eye. So I'm doing.
The Wilhelm scream.
Yes, I was going to say that's why I went quiet. Everyone, I wasn't not listening. I was just literally going, oh fucking hell, my eyes. Yeah, I mean Wow, I was going to say the. Is there a... Oh, God. The thing I was going to ask was about Coogan's performance as Laurel.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not Coogan's greatest fan, I'll be honest with you. I'm not a big Alan Partridge fan. I mean, I like bits of it, and I like bits of it in dribs and drabs, and I know all the things. But I have to say, I thought it was really good in this film because normally he's all tics and funny voices and and playing things sort of super hyper realized, and he was very subtle in his performance. Did anyone else come in with a sort of like expectation with Coogan, especially of what you were going to get?
Well, my fear is because I know Steve Coogan so well. I wouldn't. It'd be Stan and Steve. So Olly and Steve, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that very quickly disappeared because he was just kind of, oh God, he's just got the voice, the mannerisms, you know what I mean? It was kind of, and beautifully understated performance, which I think I'd sum up this film is beautifully, devastatingly understated.
Yeah.
And in fact, I mean, John C. Reilly isn't exactly unfamiliar to me either. But the fact that both of them just vanished into those roles is kind of a real... And at the end credits, when they actually show the original Laura and I doing the famous dance routine, I had to look twice to see who it actually was doing it.
Me too, actually. Yeah. The recreation of some of the scenes, even if they were, being recreated on the stage, so to speak, I thought was amazing. I thought their attention to detail and fealty to the source was just incredible.
Oh God, yeah.
The whole dance routine at the beginning and then later at the end was just like, I'm just sitting there going, wow. It's just like, that's absolutely bang on. Though I have to admit, I was curious because the whole skit in the bed does end up, if I remember correctly, in the films with Olly dangling out of a window by his leg. So I wondered how they were going to do that, but they always cut away. So I don't know whether they actually did that in the theatre at all. But there you go. But
was there anything that when you watched it? There was one bit that made me quite angry when I was watching it. And this is a testament to the actors on screen at the time. And it's where Laurel he goes to see the guy about the film. And it's the total lack of respect that the secretary, the girl on the waiting outside on the desk outside, where she doesn't get his name right. And she just looks at him like he's crazy when he's sitting there doing his tricks and stuff.
Yeah.
And then there's that woman who comes out and tells her, oh, yeah, well, we were going to tell you about this. You know, we haven't got the film. And it's like, well, why couldn't you have phoned him and told him that, or picked up his call and told him that?
Well, unfortunately that's not something that's actually changed at all.
No, in
that industry at all. It's just like, you know, we're busy, we're doing our thing. You don't matter, so you don't get attention. I've had that. Not necessarily walking in there and doing a Laurel and Hardy skit asking for information, but trying to get hold of the people who are promising you one thing, telling you everything you need to hear, and then you go, okay, brilliant, I'm going to call them up and find out whether I've got a job.
Yeah.
Oh, I've not heard anything. And then after like 6 months, you either got to basically just give up and say, well, that's fuck that. Or you can do what I did, which is carry on until they finally just answer the phone and go away.
Yeah, you ain't got it. Now fuck off.
Yeah, I'm just going to have to, they've taken a long run up of 6 months and gone, nope. But so.
See, I don't know much of Steve Coogan's stuff. Partridge, I just know the memes, and I don't even know that many memes from it. It's one thing that just passed me by. I didn't really latch onto it. Like, and that's even after like my friends turning around and saying, "Oh, you must watch it. It's hilarious." I'm like, the more you try and force it down me, then the more I'm kind of back off from it and like, no, I'll get it in my own time.
Yeah,
and I still haven't got around to that time yet. But I know of him. And look, we even did Mindhorn, and he's far better in this than he was in Mindhorn. You know, one of them irritating characters in that. And I was really, really surprised.
Yeah.
And pleasantly surprised as well. Not because I don't like the guy. I think I do. I think once I latch onto it, I will quite like him. Yeah. But it's one of them boundaries of, I know where you're from. I know what you do. I've kind of avoided you. Let's see where this takes me. And it was just immense. I think both of the guys were immense.
Yeah, absolutely.
It'll be like me finding Ricky Gervais in something else. I've given him the chance. I find him irritating at best of times. But then if he turned up in a film and he was superb, then I get that.
You know what? The revelation about their performances for both actors there, it's the same as watching Jim Carrey in Eternal Sunshine for the Spotless Mind. It's such a jarring step to the right for him in performance in that film. It's just like, for me, I know people go on about the Truman Show, but for me, his defining moment came in that film, Eternal Sunshine. That is his best performance as far as I'm concerned. And this is like this with Steve Coogan and John C. Reilly. The whole thing is a revelation for them, you know?
Yeah,
really
I mean, I literally, I couldn't agree more. I mean, I'm not a fan of either actor. And by that I mean, if I see them in a film, I don't go, oh no, I'm hanging up. But also, I don't go looking for their stuff. Yeah. I just, if they're on, they're on. If they're not, they're not. But in this case, I just thought they were both outstanding. I thought the film itself really covered a lot of stuff. I mean, it always has the same problem I have with all biopics, that they show you tantalising glimpses of things, and you go, I want to know more about that. And then they carry on because it's got a different story to tell than the one you find yourself interested in. I mean, all the stuff with the tour I thought was fantastic, and I loved the story. But there were bits and pieces at the beginning with the Hal Roach studio, and I was just like, do you know what? I'd quite like to know why Stan's got that beef with Hal Roach. And not only that they're not getting paid, but clearly he thinks he's worth more. Where did he get that drive from? Yeah. What is that all about? And so, it wasn't a game changer. It didn't ruin the film for me, but it's something I find with lots of these biopics that we've done. I mean, I say lots, we've done 2, but and this one as well. So, but each one I've kind of, every time I've seen a bit and gone, oh, I'd quite like to know more about that. Oh, we're not going to explore that at all. Okay, fine. That's fine. We'll move on. Was there anything like that for you guys? Was there a part in the movie where you sort of thought, oh, you know what? Why did that happen? What happened there? You know, or were you just happy to just go along with the, you know, go with the flow, so to speak?
I think I was personally, I was just satisfied with the whole film. You know, I was thoroughly entertained throughout the film, and yeah, I mean, I don't know how accurate some of it is. I mean, they kind of give away that at least one of those scenes wasn't as accurate as it was portrayed, and they do that in the closing credits.
Oh yeah,
it's the bit of the beauty contest, where Stan Laurel Oliver Hardy has a heart attack.
Yeah,
there. You actually see that, whereas in the scene he doesn't even get up the staircase. You can see pictures of them actually sitting at the judges' table.
Yeah.
So, obviously there was a bit of artistic license taken with that bit. But in general, I mean, it's like Bohemian Rhapsody. I know liberties were taken with the history of that, but judging it as a film by itself, I still thought it was a great film like this.
Yeah,
I'm sure there was some stuff that was filed down to take the rough edges off it, but I don't really care that much.
I think you're always going to get that, though, aren't you? Where you have families involved and estates involved, they're always going to be looking from. I'm not saying they're all bad or anything like that, but they're always going to be looking from their perspective on how does this shine a light on our star.
Yeah, exactly.
And they need to keep that estate rolling the money in.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, it's just the nature of history. There's lots of different witnesses. Everyone's got their own view of the story.
Yeah,
people know different things, saw different things, and you know, it's kind of, even if you did, you know, I mean, and I have watched, you know, very long history documentaries and history series. There's still a bit, if you know there's something, you can go, but what about that? You missed that out. You filed that bit off, because you know, these things just get endlessly recursive. What really happened? Who really said what? What was really going on? I mean, you can know, even if you have the facts of this happened, this happened, this happened, you should go, well, why? How did they feel about it? There's all like history is like studying fossils. You've got the bones, all the soft tissue's gone. You've just got an impression of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's kind of, Tyrannosaurus could have been purple with yellow spots like Mr. fucking Blobby. We have no idea. We'll never know. You know what I mean?
Well, I have seen
not
Barney
quite
the
so
dinosaur.
fearsome then. Well, yeah, exactly. That could be accurate. But you know, I think a good biopic, I think it shouldn't lie and gloss over things, which many do. It shouldn't sugarcoat things or make up jeopardy and tension for the sake of it, because that's being disloyal to history. But I think a film like this, I think probably, yes, it's not 100% accurate. It probably couldn't be, but it tells a story with warmth and affection for its subjects, and it tries to stay close to the spirit of the truth.
Yeah,
and you know what really happened. And I think it gives you a good biopic like this. It should give you then the interest to go out and go, okay, I will watch something else. I will pick up a book and find, you know, find out all those missing details, because it's given me the right pointers of where to look.
Yes, absolutely. That's the thing.
A good one will give you you'll have questions, but you'll know what you're looking for. A bad one, you'll be going, where the fuck do I start? I'm none the wiser.
Yes, absolutely. That is very true. I mean, that is the bit where I kind of do agree with biopics. It's like the good ones put you on a path to find out more, and they don't overcomplicate things and don't mess it all up. I mean, the only thing I've seen after looking into it afterwards was that the guy he was supposedly paired up with and then didn't go on stage with Nobby, whatever his name is, was a completely fictional character. Because what happened was the idea was that Stan was going to be put on with someone else.
Yeah.
They hadn't decided who it was, and basically he point blank refused.
Mm.
Right.
So, but I understand that conceit of showing someone in Olly's place and not matching up to what Stan saw over there, and seeing a physical representation of his break with his friend. I mean, as a visual narrative conceit, I take it, and it really didn't do anything to this. So it didn't change the story at all. It literally just said he didn't go on stage. So that whole sequence with the curtain being down and the stage manager coming out and saying, "Oh, it's been cancelled," and all this sort of thing. All of that was a bit of a fabrication. But what it actually did was put on, was better than just having a scene with the guy from the guy from those adverts for Reed employment, Reed recruiting, suddenly going, "You're going on stage with someone else," and Olly and Stan going, "No." That is not nearly as interesting visually, but the result is exactly the same. So I didn't mind that so much. Yeah, and as you say, it's not narratively dishonest, and it's certainly not telling you anything that didn't happen. It's telling you in a more interesting way than just having someone standing in the room and go, "No." Anyway, so I mean, I one last thing with this. Then, I mean, would you recommend this to everyone? Because I mean, it was quite interesting. I watched it, and then someone asked me on WhatsApp, what are you watching? And I told them, and they're like, "Oh God, another biopic." And I'll be honest with you, after NWA one, and then the what's the other one we did? No, that was it, wasn't it? It was
this
NWA.
is it. We've only done one.
I thought for a reason we'd done three. Maybe I'm going mad. Maybe I should be put on a boat sent off to Ireland. But yeah,
that's going to be a new euphemism for people to pass it. Being sent on a boat to Ireland.
Sent on a boat to Ireland. He's gone to live on a farm in Ireland on a boat.
It's the new. Doesn't she look tired?
Doesn't she look tired? Funny enough, I watched Doctor Who with Eccleston Years, and then the Tennant Christmas Invasion only the other day. It was very, very good. But yeah, I was just thinking. I just said, "Oh, it's a biopic," and there was this kind of like response. It was kind of like, "Who's in it?" And I told them, and it's like, "Well, we're not so sure." Biopics tend to be hard sells for people, but Firstly, why do you think that is? And secondly, would you still try and get people to watch this film?
Yeah.
Well, I've already. This morning, I mean, every day I speak to my dad, who's on his own throughout the COVID crisis, so we have a chat every morning, and he's often bemoaning things to watch. I said, film recommendation, you'll love this. But it's kind of, I think I have a problem with biopics because often they are saccharine, sentimental, and just downright dishonest.
Yeah.
And, it's kind of... They're not the worst offenders. Often some so-called historical worthy dramas are fucking shocking because you're taking liberties with real history, you know what I mean, about shit that really was important, and that fucking really grinds my gears.
U571.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't go there.
But there's often that kind of biopics. They have that taint of TV music of the movie of the week. I think that's because that's the bedrock of the biopic genre. It's all those like 70s TV movies, usually about musicians or actors.
Yeah.
And they're all like really cheesy and terrible. And, I mean, some have a cult following. And, God knows, I'll hold my hand up. I have watched the Karen Carpenter story in a room packed with students, and we all shouting, "Have a pie, Karen, for the love of God!" But...
You are on fire today, sir. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yes, I get you.
Well, that's the taint biopics have, though, I think.
Yes. There is that sort of time life cheapy, Hallmark Channel kind of vibe to the whole thing.
Yeah, sometimes you do need a little bit of interest in the actual subject matter at hand.
Mm.
If you don't have any interest whatsoever, it can be I'm going to go into this absolutely blind and enjoy it, or why the fuck am I watching this?
Yeah, I guess it's just something that's come up from the NWA one and this. Two subjects you could not find more further apart, and one which I'm interested in, and one that I had no interest in at all. I'll be honest with you, and both have turned out to be really good films, and really good stories, and actually both have made me want to learn more about the subjects. So, yeah, I was just intrigued as to sort of how everyone felt about going forward, because obviously, I'm suspecting that Jim's got a biopic in his arsenal, or for the end of the episode, or possibly a documentary or whatever. I don't know. We'll have to see. But it's just like, I'm just wondering whether or not your eyes have been open to these kind of these movies now, even if you don't have a sort of love of the subject matter. Dal?
Yeah, I like these kind of things.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of biopics for things like music and comedy. It's like the whole. There's one I want to see that's a TV one. It's the Frankie Howard one, because these are people you only know about their act on telly. You don't really know much about what went on behind the scenes. Like the whole Carry On. There was one about the whole Carry On team. About how they as they progressed through life, what they went through, and I think it was taken from the point of view of Barbara Windsor, and they had an actor playing Sid James and stuff like this, Charles Autry. Of course, with Sid James, I was very disappointed he wasn't Daniel Craig playing the role, because if they do a Sid James biopic, Daniel Craig is a fucking shoo-in for that.
Is that after my No Time to Die poster?
No, I thought great minds think alike when you said that, right, when you put it out there. It's like, yes, Daniel bloody Craig, right, in the role of Sid James, because I've always thought that. I look at Daniel Craig and I just think, Sid James.
Well, I'll be honest with you, I didn't think that. I've never thought that, but
I've thought about it for a long time. It's like, no, Daniel Craig in the role of Sid James.
Okay. Quickly, round the table. Who would you have as Sid James, Jim?
I think I'll have to go Daniel Craig now.
Elton?
Yeah. Oh, God. I can't think on the spot on that. Jeez. I'm thinking of a guy from the Carry On movies. Oh no, that is him.
Yeah.
No, damn.
And if they do a biopic of Daniel Craig, then they should have Craig David play the role.
I think.
But who would have played Craig David in his one?
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah, Benedict Cumberbatch.
He's always in it.
It's Ian McKellen.
It's just Russian dolls, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, exactly. You just shuffle it around. The whole planet reshuffled.
Just going off on the biopics as well. I find it easier to do like the music version than the film version. Like the film version, I have done Laurel and Hardy movies in the past. I haven't revisited them since I was like a teenager, so I would like to. It's just sitting down, finding the time, and if I'm in the mood, if it doesn't catch me, I'm worried about it not kind of sitting well with me. I'm sure it will, but there's that worry as well. But with the music ones, you're hitting like a 3-4 minute track, and you can drop it and you instantly like it, or you instantly don't like it. You can get it, or you can just leave it. So there's a difference there on actually consuming the media that goes along with that biopic.
Is that because of your more muso leanings? Pardon the phrasing.
Possibly.
Just being more interested in that side of things and more open to listening to new types of music.
It might be, yeah, because I am very reluctant on trying new things.
Yeah. Okay. No, it's just interesting. That was all. Because I'm kind of the other way. When it comes to music, I've got a very narrow view. I mean, I know a lot of music, but I don't enjoy a lot of music. I enjoy specific types.
Yeah.
And so when it comes to sort of playing outside my comfort zone with music and music biopics and all that kind of thing, I haven't got a clue, and I will find myself kind of completely out of my depth and going, I'm not so sure about this, which is kind of how I started off the NWA thing.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in films, knowing all the players and knowing all the people involved, you're kind of like, okay, yeah. I'm down with that.
Yeah.
So I'm probably a bit more open to those kind of things. But anyway.
You know what? There's one that I would really like us to watch because I really love the film, and that's Backbeat. Do you know that? Backbeat, yeah. That's about the fifth Beatle, as they call them.
You nearly got Backbeat if it had been available anywhere on streaming.
I know. Yeah. It's just, it's a great film.
The fifth Beatle, was that Thomas the Tank Engine?
Oh, said Thomas, a non-believer. No, it's a guy, Stuart Sutcliffe, I think his name was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And him and John Lennon were like, the bestest of best buddies, and it's more about how their relationship plays out. You do have like, Paul McCartney and Ringo in there, but it's the guy who's playing John Lennon has played him about 3 or 4 times in different films. I can't remember his name, Ian something. What do you know what I mean, Jim?
I can't remember his damn name.
He was Quirrell in Harry Potter, the first one. Ian something or other. I can't remember.
Never mind. Yeah,
but
welcome to Venezuela's 52nd most popular podcast about movies.
Exactly, yes. Yeah, we do our research. Not.
Yeah, or not. Yeah, Backbeat. Oh, God.
Backbeat.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, God, my brain. Oh, lordy. Hold on. I'm going to get to it in a second. Where are we? Why? What's happened to IMDb these days? You type something into it and it just like takes you to the trailer. Yeah. You're talking about Ian Hart.
Ian Hart, that's it. Yeah, him. Ian Hart.
Yeah.
Fantastic. In fact, he actually played John Lennon in a parallel universe story of John Lennon where he didn't get murdered. He just left the Beatles at a certain point in his life, and he just went off and went into obscurity and became. You see him trying to get jobs in like offices and stuff like this, and his sense of humour just not really playing
very well.
Yeah, and Paul McCartney in that goes off and becomes really successful, and then he tries to track John Lennon down to try and get the Beatles back together again. It's like about an hour play, this thing.
Based on a short story.
Yes.
The short story is called Snodgrass. I can't remember what they're called. The TV plays something different. But the short story is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
Ian McLeod, I think, wrote it.
Oh, right.
It's really good.
Really good. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think you get it on Amazon. I'll have to look up the series because it's on one of the streaming services.
Okay.
But yeah, I think the actual thing's called Snodgrass as well.
Right. Okay. Sorry, Snodgrass has different connotations for me. I'm pretty sure that was a kind of comedy name that was always being used in the Spike Milligan Q series.
That's exactly what he's referring to. He uses it as a general term.
In the story, it explains the title because John Lennon used to refer to a certain sort of people as Snodgrass. It was his generic name for people he didn't like, who he felt were a bit up themselves and looked down on other people. Snodgrass.
Snodgrass, okay.
There is some major chippage on shoulder in this as well.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. I'll look that one up and see where we can find it.
Okay, right. Well, I hope everyone's looking forward to my biopic, which is Predator. No. Anyway, any final thoughts? We'll wrap up and then we'll find out what Jim's got in store for us. Anyone?
No. I think I've said my piece with this. I could gush forever about it, but I won't.
Okie dokie. Elton?
Yeah. Bloody excellent.
Yes.
Loved it. It was a friendly film as well. Sad, but friendly. And I'd like to revisit. I'm not going to revisit it anytime soon, but I will do in the future.
Yeah. Jim?
I thought it was a marvellous film. And the more I've thought about it today, the more my admiration for it has grown. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, I can only echo the sentiments. I thought it was a beautiful film. I found myself occasionally wanting more from the background of the story, but the story that was told and how it was presented, I just think it was lovely. And yes, I was moved to tears in places, and I have no shame in saying it. And I loved it. I thought it was great, beautiful film, and great choice, Darren. Well done, mate.
Thank you.
You did done good.
I did done good.
Yeah,
yes.
After Voyage of the Rock Aliens, we've almost forgiven you.
Hey, we're all guilty for that period. Thank you.
Yeah,
we all picked stinkers. Well, apart from Jim, who picked a really good one. But,
yeah, he flew in the face of it. Yeah,
bastard.
He got out of that innocent, scot-free bastard. Anyway,
Look at the random battleships. That was.
Yeah, luck of the random. Yeah, that was true. Actually, we should bring that back. Actually. Anyway, right, okay, well, then that's that. So before we wrap and find out what's happening in everyone else's podcast land, Jim, do you want to tell us what we've got this week?
Well, I thought it'd be good to keep the biopic thing going on. Though everyone I thought of wasn't bloody there. And I was looking at this of best biopics on various sites online, and most of them were eliciting one of the following responses. Oh no, that's shite, that's depressing, and who hell he? And I was about to just jack the whole thing in and just pick something, some sort of old, nice classic film, maybe sort of pick up on the vintage comedy vibe and try and get an Ealing comedy or something like Arsenic and Old Lace or something, something like that. Yeah. And then just out the blue, it hit me like a falling skier.
Oh, yeah.
And I looked and it was there. And it's a film I've not seen, but I've heard very good reports. I've always meant to see it. And it is a biopic.
Yeah.
But our next film is on Amazon, and it is Eddie the Eagle.
Oh, my God.
I was going to make a joke about that.
Well, I thought, we've had acting, we had a music one, we should have a sports one.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, that's with Tarragon Spice or something, isn't it?
Yes.
Tarragon Spice. Yeah.
I don't know his name.
The fifth Spice Girl. Tarragon Spice. Taron Egerton.
That's the best.
From and Hugh Jackman. Yeah. All right. Wow. Okay. Eddie the Eagle, huh? Well, that's going to be a different one. And has any of us seen it? I can almost guess the answer. No. Okay. No. And Elton?
No, I haven't seen this. No.
Okay. And Jim, you've already said you haven't seen it. I mean, I haven't seen it. I mean, it's going to test that theory I was saying earlier about, watching a film that you've had no knowledge of and whether or not you find it interesting.
Next week we find out that you've taken up distance skiing.
Yeah. Lee's gone into Olympic ski jumps. Yeah. Well, actually, with my weight, I probably wouldn't get off the ground, to be honest, at this point. Yeah, but anyway, I was going to make a very bad joke there. But anyway, so okay then. So Taron Egerton, Hugh Jackman, Eddie the Eagle. That's wow. It's there along with Cool Runnings as a kind of like true story thing. So cool. Okay, well we'll give it a go. I don't see why not. Cool. Well, we'll be back for that then next week. So. Yeah, if anyone's got any feedback for this week's episode, got any thoughts for Stan and Ollie, or not they'll read them because their problems are over. But if anyone's got any feedback, want to send any emails in, send them into feedback@blackdogpodcast.com. If you want, you can catch us on Twitter. Yes, I am on Twitter, and yes, I am actually tweeting stuff now. And that's at Black Dog Podcast. Or join us on the Facebook group, which is facebook.com/groups/The Black Dog Podcast. And that's about the size of it. So, before we go, Jim, do you want to just tell us what's happening in Hypnagoria Land?
Well, hopefully over the next week I should be releasing 3 episodes on each one of my shows, all linked together, looking at different aspects of the legend of Jack the Giant Killer. So I have a reading of the original tale from the Great Library of Dreams. I'm talking about its history and movie adaptations on the Hypnagoria podcast. And on Commentary Club, we have a commentary for the classic 1962 movie version.
Oh, right. Cool. Nice.
And if I get really drunk at the weekend, there might be a commentary for the 2013 Asylum version.
Oh, oof. Oof. Right, okay. That's, yeah. Wow. That was
Wow.
I will have to be very drunk for that.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Okie dokie. Well, that's that. And we'll find that all over at hypnagoria.com.
Indeedy.
Right, and what about you, Elton? What's the deal, sir?
If you head over to road2media.com, you can find that we have reopened Into the Expanse. We have started reviewing season 5 of that now. So head over there, grab all that goodness over on the internet.
Yes, yeah. So, yeah, you can stop being pestered by people going, "Have you seen it yet? Have you seen it? Have you seen it?"
Yeah, I haven't been spoiled though, so that's good.
That's a good start. That is a good start, I guess. So cool. Okay, and that's it. Really, you can't find me anywhere else apart from hovering around on Twitter now a bit. And that's it. Darren, are you anywhere else?
No.
No?
Nothing at all yet, no.
No? Saga Holiday Club?
Very funny.
Okay. Fair enough. Right, well, in which case then, yes, we shall see you all next week. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Darren. Thank you, Elton.
No problem.
And we shall see you all next week for Eddie the Eagle. Until then, take care, and we'll speak to you all soon. Tatty, bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Ta-da.
There's a voice that keeps on calling me down the road. It's where I'll always be. Every stop I make a new friend. Can't stay for long, just turn around and I'm gone again. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on.
Get out of the booth, Jack.
No, I like it in here.